I welcome you all this online video tutorial. Today I'll be talking about the partial wave analysis. So last time we discussed about the Born approximation. So when the high energy scattering is there, then we use the Born approximation. But when the low energy scattering is there, then we use the partial wave analysis. So in this case, we will consider a spherically symmetric potential. We will consider a spherically symmetric potential, and to discuss the scattering of the particle, and this potential it is of short range. Potential it is of short range, and short range in the sense now mathematically RVR is equal to, it tends to 0 and R tends to infinity. That is the meaning of the short range of the potential. Then there is another assumption. We are considering the asymptotic behavior of the wave function. Asymptotic behavior of wave function. Asymptotic behavior of the wave function as required by the scattering of the amplitude, and potential is spherically symmetric, and it depends only on R. Potential is spherically symmetric, it means a potential, it depends only the magnitude of the R, and so that the Hamiltonian is rotationally invariant. If it depends only the magnitude of the R, then it is rotationally, Hamiltonian is rotationally invariant, and the angular momentum is a constant of motion. Angular momentum L, at it becomes the constant of motion. So that is the consideration that we are assuming to discuss about the partial wave analysis, or the low energy scattering. So first we take the incident plane wave, which is along the z-axis in the direction of the propagation vector k. So the plane wave e to the power I k dot r, which is written as summation 2l plus 1, then I to the power l, then the jl kr and pl cos theta. That is equation 1, where this jl kr, that is the Bessel function, the spherical Bessel function, the spherical Bessel function, and pl cos theta, that is the legendary polynomial of order L. That is the plane wave which is being expanded in the spherical waves. This is the expansion of the plane wave in terms of the spherical wave. So there is a JL KR, the spherical Bessel function, and there is a legendary polynomial of order 1. And this PL cos theta, this legendary polynomial, which is equal to root over 4 pi by 2L plus 1 into Y, L, 0 and theta and phi. This is, we are only considering Lm. These are spherical harmonics. So the legendary polynomial in terms of the spherical harmonics. So YL0 spherical harmonics, where m is equal to 0, and that is the eigenfunction. Eigenfunction y L0 eigenfunction, because incident particle do not have any angular momentum, therefore m equal to 0, because when we are expanding the plane wave in terms of the spherical wave, the incident plane wave doesn't have any angular momentum, so therefore m equal to 0. So particle can have no angular momentum along the direction of the motion. So the phase of the plane wave, So the phase of the plane wave remains constant. Phase of plane wave, it remains constant. It remains constant as r rotates about k, vector. So f theta phi, it only, it is a theta dependent. So this is only theta dependent. There is no phi. So from rotational invariance, the Hamiltonian scattered wave, that will be this eigenstate of the angular momentum with the same L and m equal to 0. We are talking L, m. So when it is being scattered, then L we will take the different values of the m, L, but m is taken as the 0. So the Hamiltonian is written as, therefore the Hamiltonian is written as H equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. So that is H square by 2m del square plus Vr. That is the Hamiltonian. So the Hamiltonian is written as, in terms of this radial function and the angular part theta and phi. So it is minus H square by 2m 1 by r square del by del r square del by del r plus 1 by 2m r square L square plus Vr. This is equation 3. So this L is the angular momentum of the particle. Capital L is the angular momentum of the particle. So we take this wave function psi kr, which is equal to radial part RL kr into angular part, that is PL cos theta. This is equation 4. Now we substitute this eigenvalue equation, that is H psi equal to E psi. So H is this one, equation 3, psi is equation 4. So H is given by equation 3, psi is equation 4. So we put it H psi equal to E psi. So therefore we will be getting, after separation of the variables, we get for RL kr, radial part. So what do we get? Minus H square by 2m and then del by del r square del by del r plus Vr minus E plus L into L plus 1 by 2m r square and RLR equal to 0. This is equation 6. So this we get the radial function, and the Legendre polynomial which satisfied the Legendre polynomial PL mu, Legendre polynomial PL mu, which satisfy, that is d by d mu 1 minus mu square del by del mu and plus L into L plus 1 PL mu, which is equal to 0. This is equation 7. So one is for the radial part and another is the angular part, that is satisfied by the polynomial, that is the Legendre polynomial PL mu. So the scattering amplitude is written as, is defined from the asymptotic behavior, that is r tends to infinity, then that is psi r, which is equal to r tends to infinity, that is our plane wave e to the power I k dot r plus the scattered wave, which is the spherical wave. So it is f theta e to the power I k r by r. This is equation 8. So this is our plane wave, this is our spherical wave, and sum of these two, that is the wave that we are considering to find out this amplitude f theta. There is no f theta phi because it is independent of the phi. this from equation 1 we have e to the power I kr could be written as from equation 1 e to the power we have e to the power I k dot r, that is the plane wave. It is written as summation L equal to 0 to infinity, then it is 2L plus 1, then I to the power L, then JL kr, that is the spherical Bessel function, and then the legendary polynomial, that is PL cos theta. So the spherical Bessel function JL kr, which could be written as root over pi by 2 kr into j L plus half kr. This is equation 9. So which are the following asymptotic behavior, that is JLKR Bessel function JLKR, it is taken as the rho to the power L divided by 1 3 5 goes to up to 12 plus 1. So when rho tends to 0, so this rho equal to kr you are taking. So for rho tends to infinity, so r tends to infinity, so JLKR it converges to 1 by rho and then sine rho minus L pi by 2, rho equal to kr. So e to the power I kr, it is written as e to the power I kr is written as, so you can write down e to the power I kr, which is written as r tends to infinity asymptotic behavior. So e to the power I kr by 2 I kr, then we have summation 2L plus 1, then I to the power L e to the power minus IL pi by 2 into PL cos theta minus e to the power minus I kr by r 2I kr and then summation 2L plus 1 I to the power L e to the power IL pi by 2 into PL cos theta. So this is equation 10. Because this we are getting by putting e to the power I kr equal to e to the power I kr, which is equal to r tends to infinity, that is summation 2L plus 1 into I to the power L sine kr minus L pi by 2 into 1 by kr into PL cos theta. This sine kr minus L pi by 2, because e to the power I theta minus e to the power minus I theta by 2I, which is equal to sine theta. So sine kr minus L pi by 2, that is written as e to the power I kr minus IL pi by 2 minus e to the power minus this is I to the power L pi by 2 and minus I kr. So it is divided into two parts. I have taken this sign, it is expanded into e to the power form. So this is equation 10. So this is now for the asymptotic behavior that we have got for the asymptotic behavior psi r, which is equal to summation of r L kr p L cos theta. So RL, it satisfies equation 6, and equation 6 it becomes a differential equation for GLKR for the Bessel function. So if we put if we put potential equal to 0, so we assume that the presence of VR potential, it will change the asymptotic behavior of the presence of the small shift in the phase of the function, because incident plane wave falls and it falls on the scatterer, that is a potential. So then scattered wave, there is a phase shift in the scattered wave. So for r tends to infinity, we can write down r l k r, which is equal to 1 by kr sine kr plus delta L minus L pi by 2. This is equation 11. So delta L, that is the phase shift of the function, and delta L depends on the energy, and k square equal to this k square equal to 2m e by h square. K square equal to 2m e by h square. So this phase shift and the phase asymptotic phase shift of the function delta L, and there is another function k is directly related to the energy of the incident particle. So therefore RLKR, which is written as 1 by 2IKR, then e to the power IKR. Again this is written e to the power I theta minus e to the power minus I theta by 2I. This could be written. So I am writing this in terms of the e to the power IKR plus delta L minus L pi by 2 minus e to the power minus IKR plus delta L minus L pi by 2. So this is written as e to the power IKR into e to the power I delta L minus I L pi by 2 minus e to the power minus I kr into e to the power minus I delta L into plus I pi by 2. So this is equation 12. I've written this 11 in terms of this form. So therefore the most general solution, that is the most general solution that is psi kr, which is equal to summation L equal to 0 to infinity, then CLK RLKR, and then PL cos theta. Legendary polynomial, then this radial part, then there is a constant, but this constant CLK, see the constant is having, it is a function of the k. So therefore it is written as the summation L equal to 0 to infinity, then it is CLK 1 by 2IR, and then e to the power I kr, then e to the power I delta L minus L pi by 2, then minus e to the power minus I kr e to the power minus I delta L minus L pi by 2 into PL cos theta. I'm not taking this k here because k is already absorbed in the this constant. CLK is absorbed in the definition of the arbitrary energy dependent constant CLK. So there is no k here because IKR is there, so there should be IK, but k is absorbed here in the constant CLK. So therefore this is equation 13. So we can write down this using equation 12 and 10 in 8. So we can have using 12, using equation 12 and 10 in equation 8. So psi r, this become r tends to infinity, so e to the power I k dot r plus f theta e to the power I k r by I k r by r. So we got this e to the power I k r, we got this psi r. So now you place both the sides, and then we will equate the coefficient of e to the power minus I k r by r both the sides, and e to the power I k r by r on the both the sides, then we will find out the scattering amplitude. So therefore it is written as psi r, that is equal to summation L equal to 0 to infinity C L k 1 by 2 I r e to the power I k r into e to the power I delta L minus L pi by 2 minus e to the power minus I k r e to the power minus I delta L minus L pi by 2 into P L cos theta. This is our psi r equal to or we write down equal to e to the power I k r. So it is expanded e to the power I k r by 2 I k r summation 2L plus 1 I to the power L, then e to the power minus I L pi by 2 into P L cos theta minus e to the power minus I k r by r 2 I k r 2 I k r, and then summation 2L plus 1 I to the power L e to the power I L pi by 2 into PL cos theta plus f theta e to the power I k r by r. This is equation 14. Now equating the coefficients of equating the coefficient of equating the coefficient of e to the power minus I k r by r from both sides. So what we will be getting? We will get CLK, this constant. This constant e to the power I k r here, e to the power I k r, e to the power minus I k r by here. When we will equate the coefficient from both the sides, we will get CLK equal to 2L plus 1 by k into I to the power L into e to the power I delta L. So this is equation 15. And if we equate the coefficient of e to the power I k r by r, equating the coefficients of e to the power I k r by r, we get both the sides of the equation 14. So we get f theta equal to summation overall L 1 by 2 I and then C L k e to the power I delta L minus L pi by 2 into PL cos theta minus 1 by 2 I k summation L 2L plus 1 I to the power L e to the power, this is e to the power minus I L pi by 2 into PL cos theta. This is equation 16. So now we will be putting the value of the substituting the value of the CL here. This CL we will put it here. So what we will get in 17? So substituting the value of the CL for 15 in 16. So we will be getting substituting the value of CL equal to, this is CL, that is equal to 2L plus 1 by k I to the power L e to the power I delta L in 16. Okay, in 16. So what we will get? F theta equal to 1 by 2 I k summation L equal to 0 to infinity 2L plus 1 e to the power 2 I delta L 2 I delta L minus 1 and PL cos theta. If you put in 16, then we will be getting this equation. So this is the scattering amplitude this is the scattering amplitude f theta in terms of phase shift delta L, f theta in terms of the delta L phase shift, that is the Lth wave partial wave expansion, that is the phase shift, or the for low energy scattering there will be phase shift. So this scattering amplitude in terms of the phase shift of the Lth wave partial wave expansion of the Schrodinger wave function psi k r. So f theta equal to, so what we are getting, f theta equal to 1 by 2 I k summation L 2L plus 1 e to the power 2 I delta L minus 1 PL cos theta. So it depends on amplitude, depends on the delta L and this k. So this delta L is the phase shift, and it depends on the potential. It depends on the potential and energy of incident radiation. So this could be written as f theta could be written as 1 by k then summation 2L plus 1 e to the power I delta L and sine delta L, and this is PL cos theta. This is 19. So how it is written? This is e to the power I delta L sine delta L. If you take e to the power I delta L outside, so here it will be e to the power I delta L minus e to the power minus I delta L. So you will be getting e to the power I delta L, and then e to the power delta L, if we expand it, then it will be cos delta L plus sine delta L. So you will be getting this e to the power I delta L into sine delta L into PL cos theta. So this scattering cross section, so the scattering cross section, that is d rho by d omega, which is equal to amplitude square modulus of f theta square. So we will be getting 1 by k square, and then summation over L prime 2L plus 1 and then 2L prime plus 1, then e to the power I delta L e to the power minus I delta L prime, and then sine delta L prime, then PL cos theta, and then PL prime cos theta. So sigma t, that is total cross section, which is equal to 0 to pi, 0 to 2 pi, and then f theta whole square sine theta and d theta d phi. So this becomes 2 pi and 0 to pi, and then f theta modulus square sine theta and d theta. So this becomes 2 pi 2 summation L prime, then 2L plus 1 into 2L prime plus 1 e to the power I delta L e to the power minus I delta L prime into sine delta L into sine delta L prime, then integration 0 to pi PL cos theta into PL prime cos theta into sine theta and d theta. So what do you get? This PL cos theta, if you integrate it, these two, this relation between 0 to pi for the legendary polynomial PL cos theta recurrence relation, PL cos theta PL prime cos prime equal to, this is 0 and it is 2 by 2L plus 1 delta L prime. This is the recurrence relation of the legendary polynomial. It is d theta, right? So this becomes this becomes sigma t, total cross sections, this becomes sigma t. So if you put this value, total cross sections becomes 4 pi by k square summation L equal to 0 to infinity 2L plus 1 into sine square delta L. This is equation 20. So sigma t, total cross section, which is equal to summation over L and sigma t L, that is This is a partial wave cross section. This is summation of all partial wave cross section that will give you the total cross section. So each partial wave cross section, that is sigma t L, it is less than equal to sigma t L, which is less than equal to 4 pi into 12 plus 1 divided by k square, because sin square delta n, it is less than equal to 1. So therefore each partial wave cross section, that is each partial wave cross section, it has to be less than this, and we sum all these partial wave cross section, then we get the total cross section. So what we get from equation 9, from equation 19, we got f theta equal to 1 by k summation, and then it is 12 plus 1 e to the power I delta L and sine delta L, and then PL cos theta. So it is 1 by k and summation 12 plus 1, and this is cos delta L plus I sine delta L, then sine delta L into PL cos theta. So if you take theta equal to 0, that is the forward scattering, then we can write down forward scattering theta equal to 0. So f0, which is equal to 1 by k summation 2l plus 1, then sin square delta L, this is imaginary. This is imaginary f theta. First we write down f theta equal to 0. Later imaginary f theta equal to, so if you take the imaginary part, so sin square delta will come, cos delta will not come, that is the real part. So if you find out the imaginary amplitude, so sin square delta L into PL cos theta. So on theta equal to 0 for the forward scattering, so imaginary f0 equal to 1 by k summation 2l plus 1, and then sin square delta L, because PL1, which is equal to 1, the legendary polynomial PL1 equal to 1. Therefore we can write down sigma t total cross section in terms of the, that is 4 pi by k, and then it is imaginary of forward scattering, that is 0. This is 0. So this is the relation which is known as the optical theorem in quantum mechanics. So this is the total idea of the partial wave analysis for the low energy scattering, where we find out the amplitude f theta, not f theta phi, only f theta, and this f theta that we will get 1 by k 12 plus summation of 12 plus 1 e to the power I delta L sine delta L PL cos theta. Then we take the imaginary part of this amplitude by splitting e to the power I delta L as a sine delta L plus cos delta L. Then we multiply, take the imaginary part. So imaginary f theta equal to 1 by KL, 12 plus 1 sin square delta L PL cos theta. We take theta equal to 0 for the forward scattering. So imaginary f0 equal to here this p0 1 equal to 1. So we get total scattering cross section in the partial wave analysis or the low energy scattering in term which is equal to 4 pi by k into imaginary f0, that is imaginary forward scattering, imaginary part of the amplitude which is on the forward scattering, and that is known the optical theorem in quantum mechanics. Thank you.